Good Sunday morning. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and happy first day of winter. Winter officially begins at 9:03 this morning, and so we are expecting it to really not feel like it here across the Houston area. So as we look at the winter solstice, which is officially at 9:03, it's when the sun is directly over the Tropic of Capricorn. You have the equator, which is the bigger red line. You have the Tropic of Cancer. But when the sun's tilted away from the earth, or when the earth is tilted away from the sun, we do have the Tropic of Capricorn over South America, where the sun is directly over, and that really does give us our shortest day of the year. And from this point forward, we are expecting us to slowly gain more daylight, at least 1 to 3 minutes of daylight over the next few weeks as we head closer towards the spring and summer season. And so right now, sunrise was today at 7:12 this morning. Sunset will be at 5:27 this evening. We are starting off a bit foggy for some of us here across the Houston area. We do have the possibility for some light showers, remaining rather warm for Christmas. And if you're just now watching us here on KHOU 11 Plus, we are looking at some foggy conditions, especially out in Galveston. I think they're having a Santa run out there along the seawall, and it's very foggy in Galveston, 67 degrees, 2 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. And so as we look at the current visibility, we're seeing it at 0 in Conroe. So if you're leaving Houston, heading on 45 north towards Dallas, we are seeing some low visibility in Conroe, especially out towards the east. If you're heading towards Beaumont, even along I-10, we are seeing some zero visibility there as well. And so as the sun continues rising, we will start seeing this fog dissipate. And so we are going to see this dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock this morning for most of southeast Texas. If you're heading off to the Texans game today, we're expecting temps to remain in the 70s. Not really feeling all that cold. You're not even going to need your sweaters or jackets if you're heading out to the game. And so that's going to be the outlook for us here across the area. National weather right now, we're looking at mostly quiet conditions across Texas. We are seeing a messy outlook across the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, and that is really going to be causing some issues for them. But we are expecting a little bit of a frontal system that's going to be setting up across our area as we go into today and tomorrow. This is going to give us the chance for maybe an isolated stray shower here and there, but nothing widespread that's really going to damper any outdoor plans or any travel plans, especially as we head into this afternoon and into Monday. So as that low, it's a very weak system. We're not expecting it to really bring cooler air into our region. We're just expecting it to remain mostly north of us, but just be on the lookout for maybe a stray isolated shower as we head into today and into tomorrow as well. So if you are traveling, I think for the most part, we are looking in quite good condition. No weather impact hazards across the state if you are leaving the Houston area. So heading into Christmas, we are seeing a ridge of high pressure that's going to be building right back in, and that is going to keep temperatures warm for us here on Christmas Day for the Houston area. So for your Christmas forecast, partly cloudy skies for Christmas Eve, getting up to 78 degrees, partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees for Christmas Day. If that plays out, we very well could be at one of the warmest Christmas that we've seen on record. And so the Climate Prediction Center is calling for warmer than normal conditions at least through January 4th of 2026. And so it's very well possible that we could see the start of 2026 on a warm note. And that's what we're expecting to see across the area for the next 10 days. So highs are going to be in the upper 70s, low 80s. Average high is at 64. There is a little bit of a cold frontal system that might end up making its way into our area by the start of next week, but we are expecting it to remain mostly dry and not really seeing any rain chances. And that's not good news in terms of our drought report. We're looking at moderate drought conditions, even dry conditions in place for portions of northern Harris County. And so we do need the rain. And unfortunately, we're not expecting it, at least for the next 7 days, in terms of any widespread rainfall. So for your 7-day forecast, winter begins today, not really feeling like it, like I said, and we are expecting it to remain mostly warm and a little bit on the muggy side as we head closer towards Christmas Day. And so we are expecting it to not be too sweltering out there, but we very well could see those temperatures remain mostly warm, at least through the middle of the week. And so as we take a look right now, if you are leaving Houston this morning and still watching KHOU 11 Plus, just keep in mind that you can take us with you. we're not looking at any flight delays across the state of Texas, even across the nation. We're not seeing any flight delays, especially all our major airports, but we are expecting it to be continuing to bring some possible just colder conditions, of course, as it is, always is, north of the Houston area, especially north of Texas. So as we look at our Saturday forecast, maybe you're heading off to New York City, Boston, Philadelphia. They're going to have a high in the upper 40s. Not much in terms of any precipitation. They are dealing with a few isolated snow showers in upstate New York, but they're going to have mostly sunny skies and peak cloud cover, but those highs are only going to remain in the 40s. Across the deep south, we are looking at that system that I was just talking about. It was a little bit of a stationary frontal boundary that was draped across the south. That is going to bring the chance for maybe a stray shower or two all the way from Atlanta to Birmingham, Alabama, even New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi might even see a stray shower, but temps are going to be rather mild in the 60s and 70s. I think it's going to be quite pleasant out there. And of course, here across Texas, we're going to be influenced here in Houston with that stationary front and that low pressure system that might give us a few showers as well. But we're going to be up to about 80 degrees for today, as we are expecting it to be a little bit on the cooler side. There's that low pressure system that's bringing it's called a backdoor cold front that's really causing some cooler conditions for folks in San Antonio and Midland. So if you're heading off to the west towards San Antonio, or even to the north in Dallas, you're going to see significantly cooler temperatures out there, and you might even need your jacket, but I think we're going to see mostly more drier conditions and less humid conditions, of course, out west. And there's the Midwest. We have Chicago, we have Green Bay, Wisconsin, Minneapolis. Their highs only topping out in the 20s and 30s, feeling much like winter, but mostly clear skies, no travel impacts. You're just going to have to bring a heavy jacket out there if you are flying off to Chicago, because we're going to see those very cold conditions that they always see during this time of year. That's why a lot of folks from that region, they come to escape to Texas for the winter season. They call them winter Texans. But Saturday forecasts in the 60s and 50s across portions of the desert Southwest. So even Arizona, mostly sunny, high of 80. Las Vegas, high of 65 degrees, a little bit on the cooler side if you're heading off to the City of Lights. But folks that are in maybe from San Francisco to Reno, Nevada, you're going to look at this surge of moisture and rain, this atmospheric river that has been causing a whole bunch of problems out in Washington State and Oregon. We are looking at a rainy outlook, especially for Medford, from San Francisco to Oregon, even Seattle, Portland, looking at some showers, Boise, Idaho, and of course, when you head to the mountainous regions, you are going to see some snow showers out in that neck of the woods as well. So Galveston right now, we are mostly foggy out there. Here closer to home, we have a Santa run happening across the seawall, and they are looking at foggy conditions, 67 degrees. So if you're heading out to Galveston, and be on the lookout for that dense fog. We will start seeing that taper off as we get closer towards the 9 a.m. hour, as that's when that dense fog advisory will be lasting until. That's from the National Weather Service. So expect that reduced visibility if you are heading towards the coast and leaving the Houston area. And as well, if you're heading towards the Texans game for today, you're not going to need those jackets. Highs in the upper 70s, temperatures getting up to 77, 75 degrees, 6 p.m. 73 degrees. And then we are expecting a rather quiet outlook. And like I said, we just are going to be tracking this little minor low pressure system that's going to be draped and bringing us a little bit of a frontal boundary that's not going to quite bring us cooler conditions here across Houston, but it might bring us a stray shower and mostly cloudy skies as we head in today and into tomorrow. And then building high pressure, that is going to keep things quiet for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So not even expecting much in the terms of jacket weather. If you have those jackets on your Christmas list, I think just leave them off. Maybe just buy, just go buy winter or summer clothes for us here across the Houston area, especially as Christmas Eve is going to be up to 78. Partly cloudy skies, Christmas Day 80 degrees, and we are expecting it to be rather warm, and we might end up tying it to one of the third warmest Christmas that we've seen on record. The hottest was when we got up to 83 back in 2015. That was the warmest Christmas that we've seen, and that was the ultimate high record for that day. But warmer than normal conditions expected to last at least as we ring in 2026, and we are expecting it to remain above average. Our average high for this time of year, usually the temps that we usually see for Houston during this time, is 64 degrees, and we're going to be well above that, at least through the next 7 to 10 days across our area. We are in need of rain. I believe at last check, we are a good foot in rainfall deficit for the year. And so dry conditions in place. We're not looking at any drought restrictions or any type of drought concerns right now. It's moderate drought, but just keep in mind that we are tracking more of the extreme drought off to the west. And if we don't get rain, we're going to start seeing most of these colors move closer to Houston, which is not good news for us as we head into the coming days. Usually what happens is that creates very dry conditions. And so when we see dry vegetation and when we get these cold fronts that bring in this dry air, that really does create a fire weather concern. And so hopefully we get some rainfall at some point, but it's still winter. We're still in the beginning of winter. We still have more of those cold fronts on the way. And when we get that surge of dry air, it's only going to create more of that fire weather concern when we see these drought conditions, especially as we head into the next few weeks. It's the fire weather concerns that we're really worried about. So 7-day forecast, highs in the 70s, lows in the 60s. We are expecting it to have that isolated shower here and there for maybe today and tomorrow, but then we're going to be mostly quiet, at least as we head into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're just going to be tracking those warmer temperatures in the upper 70s, low 60s. And we're also tracking Santa too and where he's located. I think he's going to want to not wear his thick outfit as he flies over Texas going into Christmas Day. So highs in the 80s, and then we are remaining rather warm at least through next week. And the good news is that there's going to be no travel concern as we head into our holiday. And so definitely if you're doing that last minute Christmas shopping, be extra safe out there and leave those jackets at home because we are expecting that warm outlook to persist. And so have a great safe travels and a great rest of your day. I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast, and thank you so much for watching KHOU 11+.